These are 7 factory-built muscle machines that prove how far Detroit was willing to go, even when the world was changing against them. Number 7. 1966 Oldsmobile Toronado. In 1966, Oldsmobile did something no one expected. The Toronado was a full-size luxury coupe with front-wheel drive, an engineering gamble that stunned the industry. But beneath its elegant styling was serious muscle. Power came from the 425 cubic inch Rocket V8, rated at 385 horsepower and an immense 475 pound-feet of torque. Despite weighing over 4,500 pounds, the Toronado could reach 60 miles per hour in around 7 seconds and run the quarter mile in the mid-15s. Remarkable for a front-wheel drive car of its size and era. The power was delivered through the innovative turbo-hydromatic 425 transaxle, engineered specifically to survive massive torque loads. The Toronado wasn't built for drag strips, but it proved raw American V8 power could exist outside traditional formulas. It won Motor Trend's 1966 Car of the Year and remains one of the boldest engineering statements of the muscle era. Number 6. 1969 Mercury Cougar Eliminator. By 1969, Mercury wanted its own identity, not just a refined Mustang. The Cougar Eliminator was the brand's answer to rising muscle car aggression. It was visually louder, mechanically sharper, and unapologetically performance-focused. Buyers could choose engines ranging from the 351 Windsor to the 428 Cobra Jet. The most formidable Eliminators were powered by the 428 Cobra Jet, officially rated at 335 horsepower. A deliberate understatement. Period testing and internal Ford documentation suggest real output closer to 410 horsepower. Quarter-mile times fell into the low 14-second range in stock form, with traction being the limiting factor. Distinctive graphics, body-color rear spoilers, and blacked-out trim separated the Eliminator from standard Cougars. It wasn't the fastest car on the street, but it carried Ford's racing DNA into a more refined, less predictable package. Today, authentic Eliminators, especially 428-powered examples, are highly collectible, often exceeding $150,000 when properly restored. Number 5. 1970 Oldsmobile Rally 350. The Rally 350 wasn't born from excess, it was born from survival. As insurance premiums skyrocketed and emissions regulations loomed, Oldsmobile created a budget-friendly performance car aimed at younger buyers. The Rally 350 came only one way: Sebring yellow with no chrome, no frills, and no apologies. Under the hood sat a 350 cubic inch V8 producing 310 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque. Performance was respectable rather than explosive. 0 to 60 in about 6.5 seconds and quarter-mile times in the mid-15s. What made the Rally special wasn't dominance, it was intent. It represented Oldsmobile's attempt to keep muscle alive as the era collapsed. Only about 3,500 units were produced, and many were driven hard and discarded. Today, survivors are rare, and values have steadily climbed as collectors recognize the Rally 350 as one of the last honest muscle cars of its time. Number 4. 1970 Dodge Coronet RT Hemi. The Coronet RT didn't need flair. It had force. In 1970, Dodge still offered the legendary 426 Hemi in its intermediate lineup. Rated at 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque, the Hemi's true output has long been debated. Most experts agree it was significantly underrated. With the right gearing and traction, Hemi Coronets could run the quarter mile in the low 13-second range, sometimes dipping into the high 12 seconds in ideal conditions. 0 to 60 hovered around 5.5 seconds, limited more by tires than power. Production numbers were extremely low. Fewer than 150 Hemi-powered Coronet RTs were built in 1970, making them among the rarest factory Hemi cars ever produced. Today, original examples command prices well into 6 figures, standing as evidence of Dodge's refusal to abandon performance until the very end. Number 3. 1971 AMC Javelin AMX 401. AMC never had the budget of Detroit's giants, but they had courage. The 1971 Javelin AMX was the most refined and powerful muscle car AMC ever produced. At its peak was the 401 cubic inch V8, rated at 330 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque, one of the highest torque figures of the era. Despite conservative factory ratings, period testing showed quarter-mile times in the low 14-second range, with strong mid-range acceleration that made the car devastating on the street. The Javelin AMX also benefited from lessons learned in Trans Am racing, giving it superior handling compared to many rivals. Only a small number of 401-powered AMXs were produced before emissions regulations tightened further. Today, these cars are increasingly valued, not just for performance, but for representing AMC's last true muscle car stand. Number 2, 1973 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. By 1973, muscle cars were supposed to be dead. Pontiac refused to accept that. The Super Duty 455 was not a marketing exercise. It was an engineering rebellion. Built with reinforced block webbing, forged internals, and round port cylinder heads, the SD455 was designed for durability and performance under tightening emissions rules. Officially rated at just 290 horsepower, the SD455's real strength was torque, 395 pound-feet, and its ability to make power reliably. Contemporary road tests recorded quarter-mile times in the mid-13s, impressive for the era and regulations. Only 252 Trans Ams received the SD455 in 1973. Many consider it the last true high-performance American V8 of the classic muscle era. Today, SD455 Trans Ams regularly sell for over $250,000, symbols of defiance when performance was nearly extinguished. Number 1. 1970 Chevrolet Nova Copo LT1. The Copo system was Chevrolet's quiet workaround, and the Nova benefited. While most Copo legends center on Camaros, the Nova quietly received one of Chevrolet's finest small-block engines, the LT1 350. With 11-to-1 compression, solid lifters, and free-breathing heads, it was rated at 360 horsepower, an honest figure by GM standards. The Nova's lighter weight transformed that power into serious performance. Period tests recorded 0 to 60 times under 6 seconds and quarter-mile passes in the low 14 seconds, rivaling big block cars with far less mass. Production numbers were extremely limited, and documentation is scarce, making authentic Copo Novas exceptionally rare today. These cars weren't built to follow trends. They were built to resist them. Some arrived too late. Some were misunderstood. Some were nearly forgotten. But each one proves that even as regulations tightened and the muscle era faded, Detroit still found ways to build machines with soul, strength, and defiance. Because muscle cars were never just about speed. They were about refusing to slow down.